Hello folks. Now I'm not gonna let bland topics discourage me from making great episodes, because like I always say, variety is the key here. And before I actually speak of today's topic, I would like you guys all to know that there's gonna be a shout out in this video. An old buddy of mine who I haven't seen in literally 10 years recently friended me on Facebook, and we've been talking back and forth from each other, mainly about Kale-Idle-Scope and stuff like that, but we've also discussed a few other things as well. He gave me permission to use his first name, so he is Drake. There's a lot of people named Drake in this world, so you're not going to know exactly who he is just from the first name. But I will give him a shout out and try to put a link to his channel in the description or somewhere, but I want you to keep him in mind throughout this episode, because we might be referring to him a bit. But we gotta start somewhere, and I guess I'll just say that, once again, this is based off an Instagram post. Because I guess I'm just doing that now. Like, you guys don't have access to most of my Instagram posts. The only time you can see them is in those compilations I made. So I guess, you know, this is kind of the only way to get it out there. But you all remember school? Oh god. Well, excluding high school, how long can you be in the same classroom for? Like, how many years in a row? Because you see, in high school, you're not really in the same class for the whole day. It's usually about an hour, and then the next class, and the next class, and blah blah blah, whatever. But we did have a home room, which is basically where we went to, I don't know, I guess you could call it the break room, the study room, the whatever. I would say that would be the main classroom there. So technically speaking, I was with the same teacher for 4 years in a row. But that's high school, though. If we're talking elementary school, 3 freaking years in the same classroom. Now, to be fair, in 3rd grade, in the middle of those 2 years, so it was 2nd through 4th, but in 3rd grade I started out in a different class. But about 2 months later I moved back because I was too smart for the class I was previously in. I know we were all on the 3rd grade level, but I guess I was still smarter than most of the other kids in that room, so maybe I could have been in 4th grade. I don't know how smart I would have been back then, but that's not the point. Real quickly, I'd like to say that back in my elementary school, I remember there was a section for autistic kids, which would have been a much smaller class, and well, in one classroom, there were 3rd and 4th graders, and then the one right next to that one, there would have been 4th and 5th graders. So technically speaking, 3rd graders and 5th graders would have been right next to each other. In the school I graduated from, it was usually like no more than 2 grades in the same class, except for high school, but that's different. I know people 2 grades below or above you is not that big a deal, but there was this pretty big bastard who was in like 5th grade when I was in 3rd. And I remember he would talk about Pottyville or some crap. Yeah, he's one of those kids. But once we met the guy in 7th grade, he was all like behaved and crap. He had a really good and clean tube. This was when he was in 7th grade, about to go into 8th. Now, I know that you're thinking, well, Kale, what about 2nd grade? Well, honestly, it was too far ago to know exactly for sure, but I think in 2nd grade there was a different teacher, and then in 3rd grade they changed the system up a bit. I don't know. But the point I'm trying to make here is we were a bunch of dumbass 3rd and 4th graders back then. The teacher and the 2 assistant teachers had this little system that we'll just call the 5 colors, because what the hell else am I going to name it? Through all 3 of those years, they had that system. Even if it was different teachers at different times. But the point is, before 5th grade, the teachers would have a pouch for every student and about 5 colors, depending on how good we were. The colors were green for the best, and then yellow, blue, orange, and red for the worst. Obviously, this is something that only little kids understand, and why am I even bothered to make an episode about it? Because I'm a lowlife. But the point is, was this a very reliable and efficient system here? Like, was it that accurate? Apparently not, because if it was, we'd probably be using it until the day you graduate. So obviously it's just a little kid's thing, because, you know, it's stupid as hell. If I were in charge of the 5 colors system, it would be way different. In fact, funny story, when I was 8 years old in 2nd grade, for whatever reason I thought this 5 color system was pretty cool. I'll get to why it doesn't make sense in a minute, but I decided to add 3 more colors to the system. Not actually in class, but when I was at my cousin's grandparents' house, I decided to play teacher or some crap and apply the color system to my cousins. I don't know why I thought that crap was cool. I mean, little ass Kale was just way different. So underneath red, I would have done purple, brown, and black. And you know, I was pretending to be the teacher and my younger cousins were the students. But then I had one older cousin who had a jar of some sort of food and she refused to share it. It's kind of funny because I was like, "You're on black now," and she's like, "Cool." Basically, it's just, you know, the older cousin routine. You don't always get along and crap, and I told her dad, who was outside in the front yard, "Hey, your daughter's not sharing." I would have pretended that he was the principal, and, you know, my cousin would have been the teacher. I don't remember what I was. I know I said I was the teacher, but I can't really remember. Maybe I was an assistant or something. But who gives a crap? So basically, he just made his daughter start sharing the food, and that took care of that. But the teachers did not have their own pouches, because, you know, they're too slick. It's only for the students. And exactly what determines what color? Like, how bad do you have to be to get to red? And how good do you have to be to stay on green? Well, I will get to that in just a second, but here's some of the things that would happen that have nothing to do with our behavior. For example, I remember working on this worksheet, and I was on the first question for like, I don't know, 30 minutes. One of the assistant teachers was like, "Kale, you've been on that same question for a long time." Along with this other kid, I don't remember what his name was, but we both dropped down to yellow after that. Okay, I wasn't aware that you being slow was like a crime here. Like, maybe I could just take it home for homework if I have a hard time, or maybe you can help me out. But like, how is me having trouble with a simple question have anything to do with how good I am? It makes no sense. And you want to get even more messed up? Okay. So me and one other kid in that elementary school were having a conversation in the bathroom. Basically, I was walking out and the kid stopped me and wanted to tell me something. And then some younger kid, I would say he was in like either kindergarten or first grade, while me and this other kid were in 4th grade. Apparently we were blocking the kid from getting outside of the bathroom. It's so damn ridiculous, because once the teachers found out, they were like, "Oh my god." And there was a really cool science assembly that we had to miss out on. For what reason? We were blocking a kid from leaving the bathroom. Yeah, I know he's in like kindergarten, but come on, they're not that stupid. They can just walk around. And also, there's another way to get out, the way you came in from. So honestly, this is the dumbest crap ever. We had to like stay in the principal's office for a long time, and once we got back to class, we were both on red. Red! Jesus freaking Christ. You'd think red would be like diabolical. The other kid had gotten plenty of reds before, but as far as I can remember, I was only on red once, and it was during that. Wow. Don't piss off these teachers. If you ask me, this is how it should have been set up here. Green, meant for kids that are behaving and not doing anything wrong and having a pretty awesome day at school. Yellow, meant for kids that are having a few issues but are still doing decently. Maybe they just need some help and need to take a time out or something, just need to breathe for a second. Blue, okay, well, we're starting to get a little serious here. It'd probably be at this point where kids would get grounded at home if their parents found out they got this low. You probably need to shapen up a bit or things can get bad. Orange. Okay, bastard. You need to freaking cut the crap. You have a really bad attitude and you are in some serious trouble. And red? Well, let's just say red is pure evil. Like, I don't know where else to go from that point on. If a kid gets stabbed or something, that would probably equal red, right? Actually, that would equal prison, but that's not the point. The point is, red is like unbelievably bad. Me standing in front of a kid in the bathroom does not equate to red. Hell, it doesn't even equate to yellow. Not even yellow. Like, I know kids who would freak out just from getting dropped down to yellow, which isn't even that bad. It's just like not as good as it could be. Now remember Drake, when I mentioned him at the beginning of this video? Well, he would always be on green. Like, always. He was a good kid, don't get me wrong. And he actually understands my videos more than any other of my fans, so yeah, he cool. But he would never drop down from green, at least not to my knowledge. The other students would be like, "Why is Drake always on green?" And the teacher was like, "Well, he has dropped down to yellow before, but as far as I can remember, unless it was on a day I wasn't there, this kid would always be on green." Way to go. I do remember one time he was getting a little frustrated, but it was never anything that major. So what I want to do for today is apply this system to other events, either in a higher grade level like high school or something completely unrelated to school. If this 5-color system was legit and they actually used it the way it should be used, we're going to determine some events and see what color that guy would be if this actually happened. Unfortunately, I have not thought this through too well, but I still think I can come up with some events on the fly if I need to. And also, I have been combining 2 posts into one episode, if you weren't aware of that, like the autism one I did that with, believe it or not. But what am I blabbering about? Basically, I made another post about a science project I made. When I was a junior, we were assigned a science project. And I was supposed to decorate a tissue box and put all sorts of science-related crap on that specific topic onto the box. I did a miserable job, but I didn't have help with it. I don't know whose fault that would be, maybe mine, but the point is, I put a picture of an ear on there. An ear. And I labeled it random ear. And just put it on the box. Okay, being a little sarcastic here, but that alone should have gotten me an A+. In fact, it should have gotten the science teacher to give me a good amount of money. It was that excellent, people. I'm being sarcastic, but this was funny, okay? I'm sure the teacher at least chuckled. At least. But, you know, I got an F on the thing. It doesn't bother me that much, but... So what am I trying to say here? Well, if the 5-color system was a thing when I was a junior, then what would I have dropped down to for getting that F? Well, if it were these 3 teachers, I probably would have gotten a red, because we all know how bad it is to stand in front of a kid. But if we're being legit here, well, Fs are no fun. Like, if you get an F, you're probably grounded, right? It means you're not really doing your work at school, you know? So maybe I would drop down to either a yellow. I don't think it would be blue, because blue is kind of serious, except not as serious as the other 2. So whatever, it's going to be yellow. Alright, next we're going to talk about something that I kind of have a bad habit of bringing up. I mean, not really, but it's probably something I shouldn't bring up at all, but I got a comment recently. I usually only ever acknowledge these things if they're optimistic. But it's just some random troll that we don't care about. Basically, he had commented on the first BBM episode, which that thing's gonna haunt me till the end of time. Like, it's the most popular of my videos, so if you're new here, the first thing you're gonna click on is more than likely gonna be that video. Ah, good lord. I don't think it matters too much what he actually said in the comment. We don't really need to acknowledge that. But believe it or not, and you might find this interesting, but I went over to a video on his channel and gave him a little warning. Sort of like a company suing another company or something. Basically, I was like, dude, you're watching the wrong video. That mobile one was terrible. Basically just saying that if you want to look at something good, look at something newer, or go to the channel description, basic stuff like that. And I told him, your rude comment has been removed, and if you leave another one, I'm gonna have to keep you from commenting anymore. This is your one and only warning. Now, if you're a thug-ass troll, you'd probably just argue with me. You'd probably just try to fight back, you know, this and that and crap. You'd think that he wouldn't even care. But believe it or not, while he still might not actually care, he actually liked the comment. So I'm assuming he accepted it for what it was, and he accepted that he was at fault here. Again, I don't know, but he didn't leave some other reply to that comment saying, "Bitch, you stupid." No, he just gave the comment a like. So honestly, it's kind of unusual that a troll would actually step down. But it happened. But if that guy was a student and I was a teacher, what would he get? I guess I'm gonna have to tell you what the comment said, because it kinda would relate to this system, if you catch my drift. I don't remember much. He was just saying that I'm getting less than 8 subscribers a year, why even bother trying? If you were gay or black, you might get more views. Something like that, I don't know. That's basically what he said, so yeah, pretty rude, right? But if he was a student, what would that equate to? You're going straight to blue, buddy. Like, that was just mean. But like I said, he did accept it for what it was, so... And if I remember correctly, if you drop down to, like, say blue, you can't go back up to yellow or green. It stays that way for the rest of the day, I think, even if you do behave. If I remember correctly, that's how it was. But, you know, he didn't say anything bad back. He just said it that one time. We'll just go with blue. Okay, one more event here. A long time ago, I remember watching a video of some kid in his computer class who was going ape crap and smashing the computer monitor with a keyboard or punching it. I don't remember what he was doing. And the teacher went up to him and was like, "Get the out of here." Okay, that would get you in some serious trouble, and you would have to replace the computer for doing that. The kid was pretty naughty. He was like, "Computer sucks," and he just bashed it and crap. That's even worse than the freaking other example, the one with the hateful comment or whatever. That right there, you're going to orange. You might even say red, but to tell you the truth, he didn't actually hurt a human being. Like, if he had beaten a kid to death with that keyboard, that would equate to red and jail. But that's what I'm saying. Red would be diabolical. Red would be you going to jail. And to think that I thought it was a good idea to add 3 more levels below that back when I was 8 years old. What would be worse than pure evil? Like, I guess Hitler would be purple, because he's like too terrible to even acknowledge. But what would come after that? I don't know. I mean, if we go that far, we're getting kind of silly. I think the 5-color system is a cool concept on paper, but if it's not the right teachers doing it responsibly, it can be stupid. And obviously it's just for little kids, but the things that would happen back in my elementary school classes, they would not equate to the right colors. I mean, maybe it's not just how bad you are, it's you doing bad stuff for a long number of time. Like, you continuing to argue and do bad stuff, and that drops down every now and then. Maybe that's what they had in mind. But even still, that's no excuse to give me a freaking red for standing in front of a kid in the bathroom. Like, are you out of your mind? But you can let me know if you had a similar system back when you were in elementary school. If you still are, then why the hell are you here? This is not a kid's channel. Apparently, my aunt told me that her daughter, so my older cousin, apparently she had to change her card from green to yellow, so apparently our school wasn't the only one to do that. She was mad, even though yellow equates to not too terrible. The cousin was like the injustice of it all. And apparently she had a card for the system. We just had like sticks, like popsicle sticks that they just colored their own thing. So you can let me know if you had a similar system to this, how far down did you go? In 3rd grade I literally didn't go any lower than yellow. But I do believe I have been rambling for a while now. I will see you guys in the next episode. You should probably go subscribe to Drake. I will try to put a link to his channel in the description, but his channel name is DraykieDrayker, I think. Yeah, go check the guy out. Or at least give him a support. Because, you know, if you're a fan of me, I want you to go support him so he can grow. Alright, that was this episode. I will see you later. Goodbye.